You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my mourning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Hey, good morning, Rooted Men. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Church. Hold on a sec. I'm just trying to figure out a couple things. I look way too bright, and it's not nice outside, so that shouldn't be. Hold on a sec. What does that do? Oh, it darkens it a little bit. All right. Makes it a little redder, though. All right. Truer colors, I think it looks in the background. Jackson's just left the house, and they're on their way to Greendale, praying for safe travels for them with the snow and everything. So please join me in that, if you would, please. Chris Connolly, I think, was one of the first people I saw. There he is. Good morning. Also, Ken Gooch. Good morning, fellow brothers in arms. I'm out there, obviously. Bert Reggiani, good morning. Well, I got a lot of guys connected, or a lot of connections, but I don't see people popping up. Maybe they'll pop up here at the end. Hey, today is a reading is a little bit longer. It's basically a description of Joshua and the children of Israel taking over the whole southern section that was promised to them, which is a big deal, right? I mean, that's a lot of different kings and a lot of different cities and a lot of different stuff. But the point that we're going to make is really, really simple. And I think sometimes it's easier for us to see it true for someone else, but not true for ourselves. And I don't know why that is. I just know it to be true. So let me pull up the reading. The conquest of southern Canaan. And we're going to go to verse 43. I'm not going to read them all. Then Joshua and all Israel with him passed on from Makkedah Libnah, and fought against Libnah, and the Lord gave it also and its king into the hands. And this is the repeated phrase. And the Lord gave it, right? The Lord gave it. The Lord gave it. It's so interesting that in Old Testament and New Testament history, biblical history, you don't hear them saying, I did, we did. It's always a reference to God did. So at first glance, when they write their history, with absolute certainty, they know God's the reason, right? Because if God's for us, who can be against us? If he goes before us, we're guaranteed victory. But why do we so quickly forget that he's the one who got us where we are? That's something for all of us to ponder. And the Lord gave it also to, and its kings into the hands of Israel. You go to the next one. Then Joshua and all Israel with him passed on from Libnah to Lachish and laid siege on it. And the Lord gave Lachish into the hands of Israel. And then the Lord gave, right? It just keeps going. And the Lord gave, and the Lord gave. They captured another city, struck down the people and its kings. The Lord gave, the Lord gave. And then all of a sudden, you get near the end. Then Joshua and all Israel with him turned back to Debir and fought against it. And he captured it with the kings and its towns. They struck him on the edge of the sword, just as he had done in Hebron and Libnah. So he did there. So Joshua struck the whole land and the hillside of the Negev. He devoted to destruction all that breathed, that is, as the Lord had Israel commanded. So notice the obedience to God. And Joshua struck them from Kadesh Barnea as far as Gaza and all the country of Goshen as far as Gibeon. And look at verse 42. And Joshua captured all these kings and their land at one time because the Lord God of Israel, fought for them. And then Joshua returned and all Israel with him to Gilgal. Interesting. Where it all began. Because they had to go back. Remember, Gilgal is where they created their center once they took over Jericho and Ai. So now they're there in Gilgal, but the fighting men go out and do all their work. Now it's time to come back and populate those areas before they get retaken over, right? And then they're going to work their way north. But we cannot forget, gentlemen, for a single moment, that if the Lord doesn't build the house, we labor in vain. He's the one who has blessed us. He's the one who has given us our gifts and talents. He's the one who has given us our family. He's the one. He's the one. We start taking credit for godlike things, then we're going to take the blame when it all crashes. And I see a lot of people do it. Driving themselves to drink, driving into addiction because they're bearing the weight of everything, because their job is to uphold the whole family and uphold everything and hold. We are not Atlas holding up the universe, holding up the world. We're simply men of God trying to traverse through this world the best we can. And the way to do that is let God-like things be God-like things and take care of the things that he truly wants us to take care of. God went before Joshua. And because of that, he was able to defeat nations that were more powerful than them, more numerous than them. It just didn't matter. It didn't matter what advantage they had, because it was immediately taken away when God got involved. What do you need God to be involved in today? Name it. What do you need God to be involved in today that you're the one trying to strive and you're the one trying to get it done and you're the one that's trying to make it all work? How about putting some things into God's hands and say, I trust you. I trust you. So go before me and do what only you can do. All right, I'll leave it at that. Who else came on board here at the end? Keith. Good morning, gentlemen. My cousin, Dave Donnelly. Good morning. All right, everyone. That's it for now. I'll be back at 8:40 for Strength in Our Roots and 9 o'clock for prayer. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.